welcome to the online Zoom version of The Current, a talk show that I host usually on Biddeford Public Access, but today on YouTube and Zoom. I am delighted you're tuning in today. I am also delighted to welcome my first virtual interviewee guest on The Current, Lily Vander Steenhoven. Did I get that right?
You did.
Okay, Lily.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Lily is the owner of Bloom Consignment and Resale, a clothing store in Westbrook, Maine, right on Main Street. And I invited Lily to come on the show today to talk a little bit about what it's like to be a small business owner, and what it's like, especially these days, to be selling clothing and keeping the business afloat amid in these Corona times. So Lily, thank you again for taking time out of your busy schedule for joining me. And yeah, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks again for having me.
So I'd love to start, a question that comes to my mind. I love clothing and I love shopping consignment personally. I love going to thrift stores all around and consignment shops. But what got you interested in opening your own store? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so it actually really started, I moved to Westbrook about 4 years ago. And my husband and I, when we moved here, we walked around a lot downtown. And we wanted more retail. We saw a need for more retail. So we played around with some ideas. And then there was this light bulb moment of, why not a consignment store? And that light bulb moment was really because I grew up, in hand-me-down, secondhand clothing. My mom often made my clothing. And I love secondhand. I think you can find really cool things, really unique things. It's so sustainable. And I thought it was a really good fit for where Westbrook is right now, right in the downtown. Kind of an accessible clothing store. And the sustainability factor is really huge for me. That's one of the main reasons. And then the other reason is it feels like home to me. I love secondhand. I love thrifting, and I like making it accessible for people who are maybe just discovering it.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more with Westbrook needing more storefronts and shoppable places. And I've been just delighted since Bloom has opened. And I too feel that, clothing is one of those areas where it's not only more fun and more of an adventure to shop in consignment, it's such a cost savings. And it's, like you mentioned, the sustainability piece. Why buy new and have this demand for new clothing when we can totally reuse and recycle what's already out there, and make it our own?
Yeah, I've got some kind of fun facts here about the sustainability of it, because I think the conversation is starting to happen, but there are so many people who just aren't really thinking about how wasteful buying new clothing really is. And so this information, ThredUp is a online resale store business, and they do a resale report every year. So I'm citing their information, which is readily available online. But so if everybody bought one used item a year, the CO2 emissions would be greatly reduced, about the equivalent of 500,000 cars off the road for a year. It would save the amount of energy, which would be the equivalent, or you could essentially light up the Eiffel Tower for 141 years with the amount of energy saved.
I love that.
Yeah. And you would also save in the year 25 billion gallons of water, and 449 million pounds of waste, which I like. They let you know that's essentially about the weight of 1 million polar bears, to give you some perspective on that. So it's pretty fascinating, and that's just buying one used item. That's just incorporating one used item into your closet.
You know, I think that speaks so precisely to how we feel like we as individuals can't make a difference, but as a collective, what a huge impact that small act of buying one used or consignment article of clothing a year would make. Amazing statistics. Thanks for sharing those. And you mentioned ThredUp. I'm going to look into that. It's a website?
Yeah, they do, basically you mail them they do like an online based consignment. So you can consign with them. They sell online as well. They kind of have a huge online platform for it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So I want to talk more about these days because we're in a uniquely challenging time for storefront small businesses. What's it been like for you?
It's been really scary. Our business is this month, it's our 7 months. So we're brand new. We're not really at that point where we, you know, had a nest egg built up. We were relying on foot traffic, and our foot traffic was really growing, and it was really positive to see kind of what we had done in that 7 months. So it's been scary, stressful, a little hectic. You know, these days the updates are coming in, you know, every day there's a new grant to look out for, a new loan to look out for, and a lot of just a lot of different things coming at me as a small business owner, and I'm sure every small business owner is facing that. I feel very lucky, very privileged to have this type of business, which is part of the reason I started as well. It's a sustainable business. We can transition to online. And I had systems set up that made that easier to do, cloud-based systems that I chose to use when I was setting up the business, et cetera. And I'm so thankful that it's become more common even before Corona, kind of the times of Corona, to shop on Instagram. So that was a thing that was already building up. So the pressure for me to, you know, get my website up, get everything, you know, professionally really for a web store, that pressure was off a little bit. I can just snap some photos, put a description, and put it on Facebook and Instagram, and allow people to shop that way.
Keep talking, and I'm going to be showing your Facebook and Instagram pages. So here we are on Instagram, and basically what you're doing is you're listing articles as they come in, you're posting photos, mixing and matching, and so people click on them, they comment if they want to buy. Is that how it works?
Yeah, basically, I put everything online. And it's cross-posted, so it can get a little tricky. Sometimes you comment to claim it. So sometimes somebody will comment on Facebook, but the first comment came in on Instagram. So that's a little bit problematic, but at this point, a lot of people understand that that's how it is. But yeah, I definitely, it's time consuming to get a lot of inventory up. So I try and play around. I really love putting outfits together, kind of showing what my style is and what I love. So that's a really fun part for me. Every once in a while, I try and kind of outline where I'm at as a business owner, and you know, how to shop, and you know, I let people know to something. If you need a pair of pants and I'm not posting pants, let me know, and you know, I'll get those. I'll get you some images and show you what I have. So just trying to be creative, because I didn't have an online platform already established to sell. I just kind of did a lot of mostly just posting items that I thought were really cool before. So now it's really trying to get a little bit of everything out there.
I'm struck by the similarity with being on Instagram and Facebook and your street traffic that you experienced as a storefront, it's not like people would be going to your website yet and necessarily as an established, stores. So I think it's great to have people sort of pop on by in the virtual world and be able to do their shopping this way on platforms they already are on.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. So that's really cool. And I also saw you have a site here where you can purchase a gift card. Mother's Day is coming up. I know there's lots of spring babies. So people, I know folks with time on their hands may love doing a virtual shop for themselves and having a little money in the bank already, gift card to spend at Bloom. So there's this really easy way to access the gift card. And I'll put all of these links in underneath this interview video so people can access them directly. Yeah. So coming back to us. And I wondered if, there's anything that's been a surprise for you besides just the surprise and shock of the challenging times that we're in. Has there been a moment that's been a little bit lighter that you'd want to share with viewers?
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, I get a little teary-eyed just talking about it and just feeling the energy and the love that has really been shown from our customers, our community, our family members. It's been overwhelming. It's in some times where I'm really struggling personally to just stay positive and fight through, feeling so tired and overwhelming from never being able to get ahead right now, which you never really can as a business owner, I guess. But the overwhelming support from our community, when we first decided to close the last day that we were open, we had a bunch of people come in for gift certificates. We had an immediate request for, an online link, which is why that's now up there, for e-certificates. We had straight donations of clothing and kindness, people understanding that we're a new business and that, everybody's struggling right now, but as a new business, again, we don't have a full customer base. We were still growing. And so it's like people are kind of bringing us soil to keep our pot full, which is just amazing. And to have impacted the community in such a positive way that they feel so supportive of us so fast within the 7 months is really amazing. So a huge thank you to everybody and to the consignment and resale kind of industry as well. I've had a lot of folks just in the industry reach out to me to check in, to make sure that, I'm aware of certain things. So just a lot of people looking out, a lot of kindness, so much generosity, and so much support. So it's not quite a surprise, but it always, I didn't expect it from anybody. So it did really, it just warms my heart so much. It means a lot to me.
Yeah. Well, I'm so delighted that that's been your experience and that there's that bright spot, that silver lining among all the challenge and difficulty. I wonder too, if you, I forgot to mention, and I just noticed that you're wearing blooms, you're wearing roses, so coordinated. Can you explain the origin of your store name for folks who may not know?
So it's got a lot of, it popped into my head. There's a couple different meanings to it, but how it happened was, to me, the name was really important. I like Lily's Closet didn't seem super personable. So I wanted something that felt a little bit more meaningful, a little bit more connected. And my husband and I are gardeners. We love to spend time outdoors. So somehow I was just kind of thinking of that. I thought of perennials. I thought of rebirth. What is secondhand clothing? It's getting a new life. So kind of in the vein of perennials and new blooms, I originally started as New Bloom, and then I was like, simplify. So I just cut it down to bloom. And really to symbolize that, the rebirth of clothing. And then once I was like super excited about that, I talked to my mom. She was like, you know, that was your grandmother's name. Because I always knew her last name as Blatt after she married my grandfather, but she was born Gertie Bloom. And she was a total fashionista. She lived in New York and then eventually moved up here, but I always, as a young child, I always connected with her. We were really close. I definitely inherited her funky sense of style, and she was a huge inspiration to me. And she, I was pretty young, but I witnessed her go through early onset Alzheimer's, and then she passed away due to that. So for me, as somebody who connected with her as a child, but I never really got to, you know, connect with her as an adult, this was my way of reincorporating her back into my life and how much she means to me, how much family means to me, and yeah, that's kind of the two meanings. So Gertie Bloom is really, I say she's the namesake of my store. And you know, I feel her with me in some of the ways things happen. It really feels like somebody's looking out for us.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that story. I love that connection, and that you came to the name not knowing really that that was your grandma's name.
Yeah, it felt so special to realize that, and then to be like, this is it. This is what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, and it's so fresh and sensuous in terms of the fragrance of blooms and the colors, and yeah, I love it. And I also love flowers, and so I wonder, as our time draws to a close, Lily, if there's anything you'd like to pass along to viewers in terms of you know, tips or trends or resources, anything that you might be able to share.
Yeah, you know, I once upon a time was like, I'm never starting a business. That's too much. And you know, I married my husband Croy, and we developed this together. And the way we started was through SCORE and the Small Business Development Center. And we had a SCORE mentor. I attended every SCORE class. I developed a really strong business plan. And I feel like because of that, and because of that really solid foundation that we built right now, especially in these crazy times, things feel, they don't feel stable at all, but I feel like our foundation is still there. I still can reference that business plan and remember what the store is about, and remember to carry that through even when it's you know, scrambling to make income. So I can't recommend SCORE enough. If anybody is interested in starting a consignment business or has questions about SCORE, I'm always happy to talk to people. I love helping people up. I want us all to bring each other up, and I think just through the community and getting to talk to other small business owners and being approachable, it's made such a difference. So I recommend seeking out SCORE. Even if you are a business and you never worked with SCORE, get in touch with them. They're amazing. And the SBDC as well. So that's, yeah, some of my best advice.
SBDC stands for Small Business
Development Center. Yeah, and their offices are on the USM campus in Portland.
Great. I'll put links to those as well underneath our show here today. Lily, thank you again so much for taking the time to check in with us, with viewers of The Current, and go ahead and get creative with your style. Add little touches that are uniquely you. Find something at Bloom that, you know, no one else will be wearing, because it's just that one of a kind gem. And express yourself. I'm a huge proponent of expressing yourself. Life's too short to just fit into the mold. And I love talking with a fellow fashionista and a small business person and Westbrook person. So thanks so much again, Lily, for taking the time. And for all you viewers out there, check out the links below, and we will see you next time in this virtual space of The Current. Bye for now.
Thank you.